With Gen Z entering into the workforce, it's not surprising that older generations need some time to adjust. From the way they talk to the way they act, it's been a bit of an adjustment for everyone involved. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that by 2030, Gen Z will take up approximately 30% of the workforce. It's well known that Gen Z believes they're quite different from previous generations, and because of that, they feel like they have needs that people in older generations are not currently addressing. So, these are the 10 things that Gen Z wishes Gen X and Millennial coworkers would stop doing during work hours. Dismissing their mental health. Many people in older generations think Gen Z is too sensitive, don't know how to deal with their own problems, and are constantly anxious. In some respects, those who think that way are right. A 2018 survey conducted by the American Psychological Association found that Gen Z are more likely to be anxious and depressed. It's important for Gen Z's mental health issues to be acknowledged. The Mental Health Foundation explains that poor mental health leads to poor motivation, difficulty concentrating, insomnia, digestive problems, and so much more. Dismissing mental health concerns and chalking them up to hypersensitivity will only cause more problems. It will lead to increasing declines and poor performance in the workforce. Resisting change. The ideas and methodologies Gen Zers will bring to the workforce will often be something that Gen Xers and Millennials are not quite used to. Being open to those differences and learning how to adjust is key to harmony and prosperity in the office. Openness and mutuality are needed for decision making. Researchers found that a balance between the two is important to creating the best group learning environment. If Gen X and Millennials want to have a great working environment, they should embrace change. Promoting toxic work culture. Expecting Gen Z to grind hard and hustle after work hours is a toxic work practice that needs to be stopped. It shouldn't need to be said, but Gen Z is already hustling as it is. A recent report by ADP Research Institute's People at Work found that 18 to 24-year-olds are putting an extra 8 hours and 30 minutes of unpaid overtime. Pressuring them to go above and beyond what they already do will only worsen things. So be a bit more considerate of their time and stop pressuring them to go further than what they're already doing. Disregarding their need for work-life balance. People often forget that their coworkers have lives outside of the workplace. They have families, friends, partners, or kids to attend to. Expecting a Gen Z employee to disregard their personal life for their work is counterproductive and insensitive. A study published in the Kansas Journal of Medicine found that increased stress leads to lower work productivity. This was especially true for overall work satisfaction. So if Gen X and Millennials want to increase work productivity, it's best to ensure that Gen Z employees have a good work-life balance. Otherwise, pushing them might just backfire. Not taking their ideas seriously simply because of their age. Approaching their older coworkers, many Gen Zers may feel discouraged if they passionately express an idea only to be met with, okay. Feeling rejected is a sting that never goes away. That's not exclusive to Gen Z. In a study published in Dialogues in Clinical Neuroscience, it was found that real, anticipated, or imagined rejection leads to a whole host of problems, like feelings of hurt, jealousy, shame, guilt, social anxiety, and embarrassment. This considered, it wouldn't be surprising if Gen Z has a hard time opening up to their coworkers if they fear that they're going to get rejected. So avoid this complicated mess and be open and willing to hear out their ideas. And who knows, maybe their ideas will just bring more traction. Saying no to remote or hybrid work. Concerns about remote work are understandable. Employers may fear that their employees will slack off and accomplish nothing at work. However, this couldn't be further from the truth. The New Jersey Institute of Technology Human Resources notes that remote and flexible schedules provides employees with better job satisfaction, increased health, work-life balance, and less stress. Moreover, they say productivity levels increase while turnover rates actually decrease. So, if you're a Gen X or Millennial employer, consider switching to hybrid. It'll likely save the company tons of money in the end. Using jargon words instead of being blunt. Gen Z cannot stand the hyper-professional tone that they encounter in the workplace. Clear communication is essential for Gen Z to understand what their employers and coworkers want. Without clear communication, they might not understand and could possibly do the opposite of what was asked. Gleb Sapersky, CEO of the Future of Work consultancy Disaster Avoidance Experts, notes that unclear communication robs teams of focus and dilutes the quality of their output. This is why Gen X and millennials should just do their best to keep it real with Gen Z. Not only will it help them understand each other better, but it will increase their respect for them as well. Focusing too much on dress code. This doesn't mean companies shouldn't have a dress code. Looking professional and put together is important. But when older generations start to hyper-focus on the length of a skirt, Gen Z employees get uncomfortable. If someone looks presentable or appropriate, it shouldn't matter if their dress or skirt reaches their fingertips. And honestly, it's a pretty strange thing to hyper-focus on when people think about it. Unfortunately, some of the strict, outdated standards of dress code are still prevalent to this day. This is problematic, as a study published in the International Journal of Educational Research found that dress codes may normalize misogyny, transphobia, and racism, as these dress codes only adhere to specific societal norms, promoting competition over collaboration. This should go without saying, but while some kinds of competition can be healthy and beneficial in the workplace, it can easily turn into a recipe for disaster. Older generations need to understand that competition will destroy companies, as coworkers will not be able to get along. Not only that, but if people can't work in groups, how do employers actually expect anything to get done in a workplace? To avoid this, older generations should help Gen Z and be mentors for them. Train them, be positive with them, always be encouraging, and never belittle their accomplishments. Even though actions like these are small, the older generations can help the workplace flourish as Gen Z grows more optimistic and helpful. Using the thumbs up emoji. Falling on the lighter side, Gen Z doesn't like it when people use the thumbs up emoji because it can come off as passive aggressive. This might sound like an overreaction, but Gen Zers will often assume that their employer is so annoyed with them to even send a proper response when all they send is. Not only that, but using the thumbs up emoji is a bit out of style. The Daily Mail did a recent polling that found that 2,000 participants ages 16 to 24 said that this particular emoji is mainly used by old people. To avoid these awkward misunderstandings and to be up to date, it's best to just respond with a simple yes. It'll save everyone the confusion and embarrassment.